1. Why is India so bad at Olympic Games? GS Paper 1, Salient Features of Indian Society, Diversity of India. Why is India so bad at Olympic Games? The usual explanation for such a dismal record point out at poor infrastructure, poor physique, poor diet and the lack of the so-called killer instinct. Although people like to explain it in terms of poor sports infrastructure and the corruption that undoubtedly afflicts sports administration in India, it is much more a matter of culture. Since sports do not rank as high in the priorities of most families as studies, children regard playing games as a spare time activity rather than as a prime objective like coming first in class. The insistence of Indian parents on making their children doctors and engineers is one of the reasons why India does not produce world-class sports persons. In India, girls are not being allowed into sports. In general, India is weak in sports that require high levels of physical fitness. And this reflects traditional caste and class attitudes to physical effort. Some of them are also selected at an early age by talent spotters who instill in them a desire to win at major events. One possible reason why India lags behind is that it has always relied more on individual talent, as in the cases of Sindhu, Sakshi Malik and Deepa Karmakar, than on organizations devoted to nurturing potential winners. Diet is another factor why India's deficiencies show up. While Indians eat too much fried food, the inadequacy of food habits is compounded by the generally slight build of the Indians as well as the lack of stamina, which is why they are nowhere near the top in, say, football, let alone rugby. Ironically, the emphasis on studies does not fetch us too many Nobel Prizes either. Evidently, the intellectual faculties of Indians remain as undeveloped as their sporting skills. Do both history and geography are hampering India's quest for Olympic medals? Influence of history. It is true that history and geography influences the culture of a region and thereby its thought process. From colonial rule onwards, investment in games and sports are lacking in India. That legacy still lingers on and hurts us. Growth of capitalism only accelerated the process, with much importance to materialism and wealth creation. Participation in sports was seen as waste of time. Emergence of cricket in India eclipsed Indian hockey and ushered to lack of support to hockey. Geographical influence. The tropical weather conditions of India and the terrain do not provide friendly environment for sports activities. India has a hot, humid climate which lead to physical exhaustion in comparison to temperate countries. Geographical latitude and longitude influences the physical build of athletes like Kenya and Jamaica enjoy medals monopoly in sprinting. India is a subcontinent with varied geography and relief, so different regions could have been utilized for training in different sports, for example high mountains and dry Kutch for resistance training for athletes. Majority of the Indians reside in rural areas where basic facilities for sports are lacking as compared to the urban India.